How's everybody doing? Welcome to the podcast. Sorry that's been so late. Just been busy doing stuff. I apologize for that. First off, other fantasy news. Basketball still going on. I think right now, Steven and Jacob would go, and me and Michael would go to the playoffs. Rick is very close to getting in that thing, and that's going. Fantasy golf is starting. It's on Yahoo. It's sort of weird. I don't really like it that much, but it'll be all right. And the lockout just happened. It's broken. So if you're doing NFL fantasy hockey with us, we're going to do a draft soon. You'll get a text message from me. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. We're going to have fun. NFL news. Yesterday was awful football to watch. If you watched it, Steven Sal did not because he did not come over like he said he was. So me and Michael had sweet, passionate watching football time. And so the games we got today, we got Indy and we have the Ravens. I'm picking the Ravens. I know it's sort of hard because this whole Chuck Strong thing. But in the NFL, you have sort of like scenarios that always happen. I think Ray Lewis is going to make it the Patriots and lose to them. I just think that's how it's going to work out. Also, Indy's going to be outside. I don't think that bodes well for them. The next game we have the Redskins and we have the Seahawks. I think Seahawks going to win, just a better team in general. I just sort of like that. In other news, end of the year awards, everybody's going to get an award. Going to explain it, so everybody's going to get one. First award is to Grace. Grace, you get the M. Night Shyamalan Award. M. Night Shyamalan's director. Grace, your season started out 2-1. That's sort of like how M. Night Shyamalan's season sort of started out. Really, really good. He had two good movies. He had Signs and Sixth Sense. And then after that, he started sucking. Grace, you went 2-1 and did not win another game until the truck nut. So Grace, you won the M. Night Shyamalan Award. Second award goes to Brooke. She gets the Rex Ryan Award. Her team makes it to the semifinals, but she doesn't even know what she's doing. That's what Rex Ryan did his first 2 years. He made it with Mark Sanchez. Doesn't even know he's doing Tebow. It's awful. For myself, I'm giving myself the Sports Czar Award. I think I could be better than all these commissioners right now. Bud Selig's horrible. The Stern, he's awful. Goodell, had the Saints scandal. The hockey, they just got out of lockout now. Look, we haven't had a lockout in fantasy, so I think we should do that. Mr. Rick gets If Only Their Parents Know Award. Mr. Rick, I'm sure you've seen new things and shaking your head many times at the fantasy thread. John Will doesn't know about that, John Will, because you're not in the thread. But we'll get back to that later. And the next award we have is Nick, the Typical Atlanta Fan Award. The Braves, Falcons, Hawks. Nick, you made the first round of playoffs, and then you laid a dud. Just like all the Atlanta sports. I feel your pain. I'm a fan of them, too. John Mark, you get the Skip Bayless Award and also the Tiger Woods Award. Talk about Tiger Woods Award later. The Skip Bayless Award is you're just going to talk a lot because you won. And Skip Bayless usually wins on stuff and he's annoying about it. And you're going to talk a lot in that thread. It's going to drive us crazy. So you get the Skip Bayless. Steven gets the Billy Bean Award. Steven, I bought all these magazines, read up really a lot into it. Sort of like Moneyball. Billy Bean's the general manager for the A's. And he sort of did all this. And still couldn't win the championship, just like Billy Bean still hasn't won a championship. Michael, you win the James Cameron Award. Your team was horrible. James Cameron, his movies are horrible, but we always go see it, and we always continue to watch you play fantasy sports, Michael. That's why you win. Jacob, you win the Krause Award because you tried so hard and didn't even make the playoffs and didn't even get any. And that's sort of like Krause. He tries hard, but he never gets any. Voting, we had end-of-the-year voting to kick one person out. We're going to do the votes, and here we go. With the first vote, Michael votes John Will Ritchie. So that's one for John Will. With the second vote, Brooke Bonney votes for John Mark Junkins. So we have 1-1 right now. Rick Salnitri, ethical man, businessman, votes for himself. So we're still 1-1 through there. Nick Ginn then votes for John Will. So John Will, you have 2. Grace Langout then votes for John Mark Junkins. So we're tied John Mark and John Will right now, and Rick with 1. John Will votes for Rick Salnitri. So we're 2-2 all across the board after 6 votes. Steven votes for John Will. And the final vote to kick someone out is Jacob votes John Will out. Da-da! John Will, the tribe has spoken. You've been kicked out of the league. And that is why John Will, one of the final awards, John Will, you get the Gene Chizik Award. The last Gene Chizik Award, Gene Chizik, he got fired, and John Will, you fired. Also, that means, Jacob Cook, you win the Donald Trump Award because you fired John Will with your vote. Very nice of you, Jacob. Another award, John Mark, I said you got the Tiger Woods Award. You had both women vote against you. Women don't like Tiger Woods anymore after this whole scandal. So that's what you win that. Future plans coming up for me and stuff. We're going to have fantasy baseball. That'll get started in around March or April. I'll let you know. Fantasy NASCAR starts in the end of January. I've looked it up. We're going to do fantasy NASCAR. It's going to be intense. Football news, stuff coming up for the next fantasy football year. We got the draft coming up. We're going to try to work that out at Brooks Lake House in Kentucky. We're going to give you a date really early so everybody can get off work and try to be there. It's going to be pretty cool if we can get this to work. We still need new member to replace John Will. I really don't know who to replace him with. I thought about Spencer, but Spencer isn't holding his own in fantasy basketball, so I don't want anybody that can't hold their own, and they got to be able to commit to the thread. That's one thing, John Will, that didn't help you out a lot, I think. So if you have ideas, please let me know. It'd be I want to get someone good. Don't have any Brooke quotes like I usually do, but got a great one. I was watching the Sacramento Kings basketball game, and Bill Walton was commentating, and he goes, "I need a 12-inch from Cousins." Needs a good old 12-inch. We'll make some podcasts, make one for the Super Bowl, keep on going for basketball and stuff. We'll see. Prayer requests, Derrick Rose, because I took a huge gamble on him in fantasy basketball. Pray for the Gus Bus and for sign days can get wild and crazy, and all the niggas in the struggle. I hope y'all have a great time. Sorry this wasn't that long planned out, but it's playoffs. I got a good grub. Love y'all. Deuces. Sorry, John Will. It's Jacob's fault.